Welcome back to Basic Biostatistics 2. In this short video, I'll show you how to compute a new variable based on existing variables. Computing means that we use some mathematical operations to define a new variable. For instance, body mass index is defined as weight divided to height squared. There are also other operations, differences between two variables. And in our example, I'm going to show you how to calculate a new variable that consists of the difference of systolic blood pressure 1 minus systolic blood pressure 2. So let us assume we would like to compute a new variable that is the difference of the two blood pressure measurements, of the systolic blood pressure measurement. The correct equation will be the difference in systolic blood pressure of month 1 and 2 equals to systolic blood pressure 1 minus systolic blood pressure 2. How can we compute in SPSS that new variable? Well, we first go on the menu list to transform. We click on transform, and as you can see, we have a new window opening that comes with several options such as compute variable as the first option that pops up. We click on compute variable, and this opens us a new window. That new window is called compute variable, and the cursor blinks at a window called target variable on the left hand side. We have an equal sign and the numeric expression that defines the new variable. The first thing we have to do is to give the target variable a new name. As it's the difference between systolic blood pressure, I suggest let us call that variable diff systolic blood pressure. Now we have given a new name to the target variable, the variable we'd like to define. In order now to define the numeric expression of systolic blood pressure, we can use the variable list we have here on the left hand side and the keyboard where we have most of the numeric or mathematical expressions. Let us select now systolic blood pressure of month 1. We select it, we move it to the numeric expression window by clicking on the arrow. As systolic blood pressure minus systolic blood pressure 2 is our numeric expression we'd like to have, we select here on the keyboard under the mathematical operation signs the minus sign. We select systolic blood pressure 2 by clicking on it on a variable list and moving it into numeric expression windows by clicking on the arrow. As you can see now, we have defined the new variable. Difference of systolic blood pressure equals to systolic blood pressure 1 minus systolic blood pressure 2. This can be used for computing a whole bunch of new variables. All the mathematical expressions are here. On that function group list, we have even more mathematical expressions. You can explore it in your own time and to see what you can get out of it. But most of the things you need in this course are found on the keyboard and on the variable list on the left hand side. Now, to finalize the computing variable, you need to click on OK. If you do not click on OK, nothing will be calculated. So we click on OK, and the output window opens and tells us what has been done in our data set. This is a syntax language that tells you you computed a new variable and you defined it to diff systolic blood pressure equals to systolic blood pressure 1 minus 2. Let us go back to a variable window. As you remember, you click on variable view, and here you see our variables. And as you can see now, we have a new variable in our data set. Diff systolic blood pressure, it's a numeric variable. It won't have any decimals as systolic blood pressure is measured without decimals. So basically you can click on it and you can add a 0 as decimals. Then please, on the label view, write what this variable is. And you're going to write this is the difference between the systolic blood pressures of month 1 and 2. This helps you to know when you see the variable list what this actually was what he calculated. And the rest of the thing is still a scale variable, it's a continuous variable. In order to not to lose that information, I suggest you to save usually data for all the variables you compute or categorize. This is how to compute variables. In our next video, I'm going to show you how to recategorize continuous variables into categorical variables.